Just imagine when you work hard, when you do what society tells you to do, but still you cannot reach the dream of home ownership. And welcome to what I call the Canadian curse. And before you crucify me in comment section, do me a favor, watch the entire video. Some people have gone ahead and said that you don't actually buy a house in Canada. The house buys you for the rest of your life. So today, in this video, I'll talk a few points that I look at as Canadian curses that has led the country to be where it is in this particular moment. Number one, heavy regulations when it comes to home construction. There are so many permits, building permits, taxes, this, that, this, which delays construction of new homes. And by the way, because of heavy regulations and bureaucratic systems that people go through to construct homes, then it becomes extremely expensive. And who pays for that? You and I, the consumers. Don't forget, we have probably 100,000 unemployed construction workers. And you will ask yourself, why can't we just fix this problem? Is it a Cold War? Remember, owning a property is one of the most significant achievements any young person can achieve in their lifetime. Number two, we have a big issue of immigration. And people have different or mixed reaction to this topic. But what causes this kind of issue? Let's go to the issue of birth rates. They are very low. And when you ask people, why are you not having a family? They will point economic reasons. Think about it. You are 30, you are 28, or you are 35, and you are still stuck in your mother's basement. If you are lucky enough to have that basement, how are you going to go for dates? Because before you think about bringing children on planet Earth, you have to think about where are they going to stay. And doesn't matter either way, guys and ladies, the number one thing you think about when you are about to make a family is economics. How are we going to survive economically? So people choose not to have children because they think they cannot afford it. And remember, because our birth rates are low, authorities will be forced to go and import people. Remember, Canada has got one of the best immigration system for the last 50 to 100 years. Everybody come from somewhere. Let's talk about another fundamental curse in Canada. The people who give out licenses. It can be a teaching license. It can be a nursing license. You could find that we have a lot of foreign nurses and doctors here, and they are not allowed to practice, not because they are not skillful. It is because of the bureaucratic system, the slowness, that long period for somebody to become a doctor. Remember, when you come here, you have a family to feed, or you have somebody, your grandmama back home, whatever, and they need your economic support. So at the end, we have doctors driving Uber. We have nurses as security guards. Remember, these are universal skills. When you are a nurse in India and you are a nurse in Africa or in wherever you are, anatomy is the same. Then we have the emergency rooms crowded and people cannot receive service. And I'm like, why don't you remove the red tape? We have so many unemployed construction workers. Don't forget, Canada is the second largest country in the world when it comes to land. They are number 4 when it comes to oil production. Why can't we unlock these resources that everybody can benefit? We can complain and complain, but these are serious curses on our country, and we can raise up and do something about it. Canada used to be number 5 when it came to happiness. Today, we are 25. Why? Majority of us, we feel we are economically down. And when you are economically down, there is that anxiousness in you. There is that anger. I see it on trains and bus. I'll never forget one day I saw a place, like when you sit in these buses and TTC bus, and I could see somebody sitting there, but he's not allowing other people to sit there. And I'm like, children are standing and you have an empty seat. And I could see the man who was extremely angry. And I don't know what was going on in his life. But we think about bills, 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 bills. Those heavy regulations, endless permits. But don't get me wrong, Canada is the best country in the world. When you look at the G7 countries, the best among them is Canada. But the sophisticated system, those old rules and regulations of the past, we need to think twice. And I know the authorities are working so hard to fix it. I've seen a bit of change when I went to buy some things in grocery stores. I think the Prime Minister is doing something good economically compared to how things used to be maybe 2 years ago. So, the greatest Canadian curse is the slowness, is the bureaucracy to do things. I'll never forget. I applied for a job and they gave me the job. And then they told me to bring a vulnerable sector check. It is something like a police check. And because we live in big cities, crowded cities, when I typed the amount of time for me to get that document, they said 6 weeks to 8 weeks. We are looking at a month and a half or 2 months. Yes, that time is required because they have to make sure that you are not a criminal. But you think the employer is going to wait for me? A big no. You know how I feel in that moment when I have to wait 8 weeks? I'm economically down, I'm not working, and yet I have to work to pay my bills. And before you disagree or this, and sometimes there are some people who are highly skilled, they come here, they think this is not for me, they pack their bags and go. But what about people who come from countries which have got wars? What about people who are born here and they don't have an escape route? They don't know any other country, and this is their country, but still they cannot afford life. When they cannot play their favorite sport, hockey, because the sport has become extremely expensive. So I challenge the people in authorities to lower down the cost of living. So that's what I call the Canadian curse. We have abundant resources, nice people, but still our bureaucratic system to function. And when it comes to big cities, yes, I give them credit, they try. When you live in a remote area, oh, double trouble for you. Thank you so much for watching. I would like to see your disagreements in the comment section. Which other topic you want me to talk about? But for me, I think the Canadian curse is the bureaucracy, the slowness. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.